The problem the Oilers are doing is that they're trying to play Florida Panther hockey, okay?
I see that. They're trying to bully a little bit.
They're trying to bully, and granted, that's because the Oilers went and they grabbed Trent Frederick, who started the backyard brawl, if you will, last night. It's 5-1. The Oilers are just getting absolutely shit pumped, and because of that, they're trying to get into the heads, into the kitchens of these Florida Panthers. Little do they know that is where the Panthers live. Trent Frederick right there. Sam Bennett, he's been the superstar, so what's Trent Frederick do? Hey, let's screw with this guy. I'm going to break my stick over his back, and let's just start throwing hands. And that's what happens, but that's what the Florida Panthers thrive off of. Yeah. The Oilers are probably going with Calvin Pickard now, who got hurt earlier in the playoffs. As
5-on-5 in the Stanley Cup Finals, full fight. I mean, what are we even talking about? This is 5-1. This game is over. The only reason this would happen is because the Edmonton Oilers just are trying to get under the Panthers' skin. Do you think that's going to happen to this Florida Panthers team? Absolutely not. Blood gushing down that guy's face. Couple cross checks from Frederick on Sam Bennett. One in the lower back. Then breaks his stick across the wrist of Sam Bennett, the guy who's going to win the Conn Smythe, the MVP of this entire thing. So obviously the Panthers are like, I don't think so. This is all happening right in front of the Edmonton Oilers bench. I once again cannot reiterate the fact enough. Hockey is awesome. And the fact that you can just get a full 5-on-5 brawl in the Stanley Cup Finals in 2025 should make everybody say, this sport's the greatest of all time. There's only 3 refs out there.
Yeah.
There's 5 different fights. 3 refs. There was multiple times where that fight would go down to the ground, guys would catch their breath and say, no, we're not done yet. They'd get back up, start fighting each other, and the ref would have to come over. Then one ref would be struggling with one big-time fight, would call in a friend, stripes, hey, 2 refs, 1 fight. There's 4 other fights happening and only 1 ref to break it all up. This thing could have gone all damn night if they wanted it to, but the boys ran out of gas, the boys ran out of steam, and I think the boys proved themselves that, hey, you're not just going to disrespect us. The Edmonton Oilers said, we ain't no rollover bitches around here. We will put up a fight, even if we're losing. And the Panthers said, is that right? Okay, we'll beat you 5-1 and beat your ass on top of it. As a Florida Panther fan, you got to love everything about it.
Loved everything about it. And post-fight, seeing the stick taps up against the wall. I mean, it's just it's the height of obviously playoff hockey, the physicality, not only between the whistles, but after the whistles as well. And you knew this was coming. You knew this was coming from the Oilers once they were down 5-1 and pretty much gave up, I feel like, in the second period. It's one thing to be talented, but then to be talented and then be deep as well. You mentioned Sam Bennett and Marchand, but Barkey and Chucky, like, they haven't even been giving them the production that you expect them to at this level. You're still getting all these weapons getting in there. Carter Verhaeghe, Swaggy, he's always going to put pucks on net, especially when it comes to playoff time. And then Bob is standing on his head.
Bobrovsky, the goalie for the Panthers.
Yeah, Bobby, standing on his head, man. So I loved everything about it. And that pop from the crowd, obviously Marshall got it started very, very early on. I think the earliest Stanley Cup championship goal in Panthers history. And then once Carter followed it up, that crowd was in it, and they never left.
One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, AP Dahn.
The one thing we do need to worry about is Connor McDavid and potentially an injury. Ekblad lined him up a bit last night, and then he went to the locker room. So, if McDavid's not 100%, are they going to be able to beat the Panthers? That's the huge thing to watch going forward. It didn't look like much there, but then the more of the replays they show, he got a little bit of a knee on that hit, so it's definitely something that we need to watch moving forward.
Yeah, and McDavid getting back knee there, a little bit of a trail. Him ending up on the ice, obviously never good, not expected because of how great of a skater he is. Do you know how strong you have to be to skate as fast as he skates right now? That's the thing about McDavid. He's so explosive, but he's also so durable, seemingly. Edmonton Oilers without Connor McDavid, obviously this thing is signed, sealed, delivered to the Florida Panthers. But if he can stand, they will put him out there. That's the difference between hockey and every other sport. They did show signs of life at the very end. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, Moose, they started a 5-on-5 fight when they were down 5-1 towards the end. We've seen this time and time in the series this year. If a team is down a ton of goals, they're like, screw it. We don't care if we get a power play against us. We're going to start a fight. Is that an unwritten rule that if you're down 5-1 in a game, in a series, you just start fighting?
Look, I just don't see the benefit of it, to be honest with you. I think that if the Oilers want to play tough, they should be playing tough when the game's is still in the balance from the opening face-off. But the fact is that both teams have to be more disciplined. I thought both teams actually took way too many penalties, needless penalties, careless penalties, undisciplined penalties. And that should have played well into the Oilers' hands, but it didn't last night. they took too many of their own. The Oilers, if they're going to win this series, have to be on the top side of the specialty team units right now, and right now they're not. They weren't particularly good on the power play last night. Their penalty killing struggled, and if it continues that way, the Oilers are going to be in tough in this series. They have to get back to playing a disciplined hockey game, using their balance of what we've seen in the playoffs. They were getting balanced scoring in the first 3 rounds of this playoff series. Because they were staying out of the penalty box. They were playing discipline. They were giving themselves an opportunity. And when you got 2 guys like McDavid and Draisaitl, give them an opportunity to make plays in the game. Give them an opportunity. Even if the game is close, they should feel comfortable playing in that kind of game because they can make plays all over the ice and when it matters most towards the end of the game. But right now, they got to regroup. I highly suspect that they are going to regroup. They have too much talent. They have too much experience now. They got to really kind of look at what they did in this game and park it, file it, and get themselves ready to play the kind of hockey that we've seen them play throughout the season and the playoffs.
On that note, Moose, Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Moose, obviously you mentioned, I mean, it's still early in the series. This thing's not done yet. But when you have a situation like last night where you not only get your ass beat on the scoreboard, but you try to mix things up a little bit and kind of get your lunch eaten in a fight like that, are there any residual effects moving forward for a situation like that?
I don't think so. I mean, like I say, I don't see the benefit of last night. If I were the Oilers last night, I would have much preferred to see them playing a hard game between whistles, continually taking the body. It was 7-1, and the Panthers were still finishing their checks, legally finishing their checks. That's the kind of commitment they put into their team game. I would have much rather seen the Oilers really playing hard hockey towards the end, really trying to finish their check and punish the Oilers and try to look at this as it's going to go 7 games and get the benefits there. But by slashing people on the back of the legs and taking cheap penalties, that's not tough hockey. That's not doing anything to the Florida Panthers other than embolden them to what they're doing is working.
I love to hear how passionate you are about not only Edmonton Oilers, which obviously you have history, but just the game itself. Like, hey, this is not how you're tough. This is not, you're embarrassing yourself here. This is not what we need in this entire thing. That's you shaking your head even more as I say that. That's exactly what you're saying here?
Well, I'm saying exactly like that. There's a way to be tough and a way to play tough. But being tough is going back under pressure when the guy is bearing down on you as a defenseman and taking the body check and moving the puck. That's tough. Being tough is getting in front of the net and taking a pounding to score a goal. That's tough. This stuff is not tough. That's not tough hockey, and this is not going to win it for you anything at this time of year. This is the Florida Panthers are playing to their identity. The Oilers got to play to their identity. This is not the Oilers' identity. I haven't seen the Oilers. They consider themselves a much bigger, stronger, more aggressive team, but this is not the way to be aggressive in the playoffs. This is not doing anything to the Florida Panthers, in my opinion. Anyways, there, I think the Oilers have lost composure. I think they feeling that they're being bullied. The Florida Panthers are just playing hard hockey, hard-nosed hockey. They're finishing their checks every time. The Oilers got to respond. They got to be able to take it, get themselves up, pick themselves up, and give it back in the same way. Between whistles, hard hockey, get to the front of the net, take a check to make a play. That's tough hockey.
We just heard the captain speak to the team.
Yeah.
It feels like that's what I felt like I was in the change room with you there. I feel like after the game, that is exactly what you would have said. That's what you want Connor to say basically in there to the boys. Hopefully the message finds its home.